What is going on, guys? Niveleth here, and welcome back to another Star Wars Battlefront 2 video. It has been a really sad couple of days for myself and the entire Battlefront community. The announcement came out yesterday that the content updates are no longer coming to Star Wars Battlefront 2. After 2.5 years of consistent updates and content drops, the Battle of Scarif update was the game's final installment. The announcement came as quite the shock for the entire community, as it was announced alongside the community transmission. Some of us may have suspected that content support was ending soon, but I don't think any of us expected it to happen when it did. The story of Battlefront 2 is a story of redemption. It's a story of a passionate fanbase and a dedicated developer team working together to keep this Star Wars experience alive. And after all this time, it's finally time for it to come to a close. I wanted to look back at the comeback story that is Battlefront 2. How it overcame a rocky launch and became something that gave us so many memories and an escape from the struggles of life. Let's take a look at the life of Star Wars Battlefront 2. On November 17, 2017, Star Wars Battlefront 2 released across all platforms. It was immediately met by a ton of backlash on the internet, with most people citing a predatory loot box system as the main issue. The progression system in Battlefront 2 was directly tied to loot crates that were able to be purchased with real money. This caused an uproar from gamers across the world, with governments even getting involved to see if the system was a form of gambling. It was about as awful of a start for a game that I've ever seen, and it gave Battlefront 2 a bad name across the gaming world. This forced DICE and EA to remove the ability to purchase loot crates for a period of time. Even without the pay-to-win system, the progression system was atrocious. It still forced progression to be tied to randomized star cards from crates that could be bought using in-game credits. However, tons of fans still stuck by the game and played it religiously, such as myself. I had been way too excited for this game to give up already. I trusted that things would get fixed. A couple of weeks later, the first content update released for Battlefront 2. The Last Jedi season was launched on December 17, 2017. It was released in anticipation for The Last Jedi, which was about to launch in theaters. The update brought in 2 new heroes, Finn and Captain Phasma. It also brought the Battle of Crate to the game, and it was awesome to see a solid content drop such as this for the first update. The future looked bright. Still, there were a bunch of unsolved issues with the game. The big issue was still there with the progression system, so the team at DICE announced that they would be taking a few months to rework the progression system, and then we would not be receiving any content drops in the meantime. Those were a rough 3 months for the player base. The game got stale rather quickly, and with no new content being added, it was hard to stay interested for some people. A lot of players got impatient and gave up on the game, while a select few of us stayed with it and toughed it out. Once the progression rework was released on March 21, 2018, it was now time to get into the good stuff. The progression system was reworked into a more traditional style, with players progressing by leveling up XP and spending skill points to unlock better star cards. With that out of the way, content support became a monthly thing for Battlefront 2. On April 18, 2018, the Night on Endor update was released for the game. This marked the start of monthly content updates. The update included Ewok Hunt, which was a funny little mode that brought some interest back to the Battlefront. In May of 2018, the solo season was released, bringing some hero skins and new maps to the game. It also brought in a fun new mode called Hero Showdown. Showdown was a 2v2 hero battle that allowed the more skillful side of Battlefront 2 to be showcased. In 3 months, the team at DICE managed to completely rework the progression system, add 2 new fun modes to the game, bring a couple of maps and skins as well. This was an incredible sign for the future of the game, and players were starting to flood back. On June 9th, the biggest day in Battlefront 2's history occurred. At the EA Play conference, design director Dennis Branval took the stage to announce that Battlefront 2 would be releasing a ton of new Clone Wars era content for the game. This announcement included the addition of General Grievous, Count Dooku, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Anakin Skywalker, Geonosis, and a brand new Conquest-style game mode.
I know that you have been asking for new heroes, villains, and planets from a certain era that features a very iconic Star Wars conflict, so I'm excited to confirm that Battlefront 2 this year will be going deep into the Clone Wars. So let's talk about the heroes and villains. First, let me introduce the most powerful droid, the leader of the most powerful droid army in the galaxy, General Grievous. And yes, he will be going up against my own personal favorite, Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi. But we're not done. That's not it. They will not come alone. Joining them is the Dark Lord and leader of the Separatist Alliance, Count Dooku, as well as someone to bring balance to the Force, Obi-Wan's unruly Padawan, Anakin Skywalker.
The announcement shook the Battlefront community to its core, and it even got the game trending on Twitter. For some gamers, the last time they had heard the name Battlefront 2 was when it was getting obliterated on the internet for the pay-to-win situation. Now, the context was a lot better, as both the Battlefront community and the gaming community in general was extremely interested in the future of the game. I personally did not expect an announcement of this magnitude, so I was extremely surprised and impressed at this announcement. Over the next 7 months, DICE delivered monthly content updates, with each one containing a massive content addition like a new hero, a beloved map, and a massive Star Wars experience in the form of Capital Supremacy. The trailer for the release of Geonosis got over 1 million views on YouTube, and the hype for Battlefront 2 is officially back. This 7-month span was the golden age of the life of Battlefront 2, and I've never seen more hype from the community. Once they finished putting in Clone Wars content, it was time to move on to the sequel era. With the upcoming release of The Rise of Skywalker, the team at DICE wanted to focus on adding content from that era. They added a fun new game mode called Co-op, which is a surprisingly fun new way to play the game. On December 17th, 2019, which was exactly 2 years after the release of The Last Jedi season, The Rise of Skywalker update was released. With this update came 2 new heroes, 4 new reinforcements, some new hero skins, a new map, and the sequel era being added to Supremacy and Co-op. It was a great update and it was packed with content. Once that update was released, the announcement came that they would be moving on to the original trilogy, since that was the only era that they hadn't added content for. They announced the return of the fan favorite Scarif map from the 2015 Battlefront, as well as the addition of the OT era to Supremacy. With this update, all 3 cinematic eras of the Star Wars franchise were now playable in all modes, and it completed the vision that the team had for Battlefront 2. With the community transmission for the Scarif update came bad news. Battlefront 2 will no longer be receiving content updates in the future. The Scarif update is the final one. It's bittersweet to look back on everything that this game has gone through. The community has stuck with the game through thick and thin, and we've watched it become a genuinely great video game over the last couple of years. I hope more than anything that a Battlefront 3 gets announced soon, because this community is the best I have ever been a part of. Streaming and making videos for this game over the last couple years has made me extremely happy, and I will continue to make content for this amazing game. I also want to thank the team at DICE for their incredible efforts in turning this game around. Battlefront 2 could have been dead before it hit the water, but the support of the fan base and the dedication of the developers has been astonishing. Their development team was cut in half after a rough launch, and it's incredible that such a small team did this fantastic feat. I want to thank everyone in this community for sticking with the game and sticking by each other. It's been an amazing journey, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. Thank you guys so much for watching, and may the Force be with you.